In this presentation, I would like to share about the lead measures of the Adventist Stewardship Ministries. Let's talk first about the importance of lead measures. Many strategic documents with inspiring vision, well-articulated mission, and clear goals, and unfortunately in a drawer. Our greatest challenge as a church or a department is not planning. We are usually good at planning, but implementation. Lead measures in a strategic document act as facilitators of implementation. If you are in the middle of a huge parchland and someone convinces you that over there you'll find water and food, his or her words will ignite hope and motivation. But unless the person tells you the way to reach the food and water, it won't change much to your reality, isn't it? This is how lead measures function. They are the highways to our aspired destination. The stewardship orientation document contains 3 lead measures which inform about how to transform and improve the current reality concerning putting God first. Our first lead measure is spiritual empowerment. I quote from the strategic orientation document. Our first task is to nurture members spiritually with a focus on the God-first principle through home visitations, weekly offertory devotionals, regular stewardship sermons, annual commitment ceremonies, and other relevant activities. If we want the members of the church and others to put God first, we need to equip them to have a personal relationship with God. A God-first life is a spiritual venture. Professor Louis Fry, a specialist in leadership, proposes a spiritual leadership model that can help us to understand how spiritual empowerment functions. The starting point at the left of his model is the inner life of the leader. Spiritual empowerment is the work of spiritual leaders, of those who are cultivating their personal spiritual lives. The second component of Fry's model comprises of 3 key elements of spiritual leadership. Spiritual leaders provide their followers with an inspiring vision, with hope, faith, and offer altruistic love. How does this apply to the stewardship ministries? The inspiring vision would be that we are created and redeemed as God's stewards. The hope, faith would be to communicate the conviction that through God's transforming grace, we are able to live as faithful stewards, and hope, faith in God's rewards for the faithful. The altruistic love is demonstrated each time we serve others with an unselfish spirit and share about the unconditional love of God for everyone. As a result of vision, hope, faith, and love, followers are transformed. They develop the conviction that they have a calling. This situation brings meaning and purpose to their lives. They also develop the conviction that they are valuable members of a body, creating a sense of belonging. Combined, a sense of calling and belonging are powerful sources of intrinsic motivation. Fry observes, through many studies done in various settings, that people who are spiritually empowered tend to be committed to their organization and to the fulfillment of its mission, total member involvement. And in their personal life, they experience satisfaction. Spiritual empowerment, our first lead measure, is key to leading people to put God first. Let's now consider lead measure 2. The second lead measure is stewardship education for all. I read from the strategic orientation document all segments of the church membership, including prospective members, should receive adequate training in regular and systematic giving, in their responsibility of supporting the local and worldwide mission equitably, in management of personal finances, in the creation of wealth, and other relevant topics based on the Bible, Ellen G. White's book, Counsels on Stewardship, and her other writings. This second lead measure represents the bulk of what we do as stewardship leaders and educators. However, we often assume that an individual or a family knows about the lifestyle of a steward by simply growing in the church or attending church for an extended period. This assumption can be faulty. Numerous studies have revealed what is known as normative ignorance among church attending Christians. This is particularly true for stewardship instructions, unless we are intentional educators of all segments. Many may not understand the implications of a God-first life. This resonates with the instructions of Apostle Paul. And how can they know who to trust if they haven't heard of the one who can be trusted? For those who have been in the department for some years, you have probably identified an addition to lead measure 2, providing training in the creation of resources. Let me tell you about the importance of this addition. I was recently consulting the Global Tithe and Offerings Report for 2021, created by the Archive and Statistics Office of the General Conference. My attention was drawn to tithe per capita for several divisions. I have chosen 2019 to exclude the effect of COVID-19. But these figures that you are seeing, they are real figures. We can provide several good interpretations for these figures. The four main explanations are the adverse economic conditions prevailing in these territories, a need for a membership audit, probably an issue of unfaithfulness. Many faithful members are earning very little today. Further studies may help to identify the exact cause for the low tithe per capita. But we won't be wrong to assume that it is often a mixture of causes. As stewardship leaders, we have little to no influence on the economic conditions prevailing in those territories, and even on the need for a membership audit. But we can address the two other causes. Through spiritual empowerment and stewardship education, we can address the issue of unfaithfulness. In many places, we can contribute to address the third cause of a low tithe per capita by facilitating education in the area of creating wealth. Our second lead measure is to provide a comprehensive stewardship education to all segments of the church. The third and final lead measure, it's not advisable to have too many lead measures. The third one is building confidence. We read from the strategic orientation document, stewardship leaders encourage and work together with the leadership of the church to establish an internal control system, comply with the use of tithe guidelines, assist in ensuring that regular financial information is provided to all members, and engage in other actions that contribute to building confidence. It is a well-established reality that trust is an accelerator to partnership in mission. The inspired words of Ellen White speak to the importance of this lead measure. Those in responsible places are to act in such a way that the people will have firm confidence in them. Unfortunately, some figures from the GC auditing service indicate that collectively there is a need for improvement in this area. A balanced approach is essential for the lead measure on building confidence. While we constantly encourage the church leadership to build confidence in the way they are managing and leading, it is our duty to invite the membership to remain faithful to God, though any perception of unfaithfulness on the side of leadership. Besides acting as highways and pathways to our goal, lead measures help us to measure progress. Goals inform us if we have reached the destination. Lead measures and their associated actions and initiatives tell us if we are on the right track to the goal and what are the needed corrective measures. In conclusion, dear stewardship leaders, make sure that your plan as a stewardship leader comprises of lead measures besides your vision, your mission, and your goal. And make sure that your lead measures is expressed through actions and initiatives. Prayerfully, consider the 3 lead measures that we are recommending for the stewardship ministries. Spiritual empowerment, stewardship education for all, building trust. Adapt, reformulate them to suit your context. But remember, those who track their journey reach the destination.